Hi, my name's Charlotte and I'm getting baptized today. My story starts in 2011 in Afghanistan. We got blown up and I got injured pretty severely, lost a friend in that explosion, got sent to Fort Campbell, Kentucky for about a year, and got severely addicted to drugs for 10 years on. Then I had met my ex-husband, dealt with a lot of physical abuse, kept using drugs for a very long time for mental issues and physical issues as well. I had gotten pretty hardcore into heroin and was trying really hard to get off of it, and eventually after about a year and a half of being on heroin, I got off. I actually got myself off. I went into my mother's house and I said, I'm going to be withdrawing in your room because I was just done. So I actually got off of heroin myself. I started working again at a place called Twin Peaks. I met my very good friend and now brother-in-law, Zeke, who introduced me to my husband, who had just graduated from the Air Force Academy, and we hit it off really, really well. He had told me like his dad was a pastor and that he grew up in the church, and I was just so confused. It was just not a world that I was used to, but I was a little bit interested in it, but we did fight a lot on different beliefs, and it was a rough first few months of our relationship. We both lived in sin pretty heavily at that time. He always told me he struggled with, he knew all of it up here, but he struggled with it here. So he was kind of in sin at that time and wasn't, partying and all of that, and wasn't really taking anything else into consideration. We had gotten pregnant about 5 months into us dating with our now son, Sebastian. And that was huge for me. I was still using Xanax at that time very heavily, and I knew I have to get help. So I was about 130 pounds then, and I'm about 200 pounds now, so I've gained a lot of good weight. And I went into detox, very scared but very motivated to be done. And I got the help that I needed. My husband thought, this is it. I have to start being a good husband. I have to start leading my family to Christ. That moment changed him completely. And so I know he was working on the outside when I was trying to get better. When I was in detox, I met a lot of people who were also addicts and who had been addicted to all different types of drugs, all different types of things, and decided to also get help. These people found Jesus in rehab, in detox, and wanted to talk to us about it. So most of us are sick and not wanting to listen, but I did listen. I listened pretty deeply, and I wanted really bad to understand the Bible. I wanted to understand what I was so against for all these years. So I had one guy hand me a Bible, and he told me to give it a chance. And I will never forget that day, because I started reading the Bible and I was still pretty hesitant, but I was more open this time. And I started watching YouTube videos over sermons and really trying to understand what this all meant. Why was all of a sudden this coming into my life, and things just felt like they were changing. After detox, me and my husband were trying to get on a better path because we were going to be parents soon. We ended up having our son, and we were going to church. We were, doing devotionals together, but I was still struggling pretty heavy with it. And I went this was 2020, I went to a service during Easter, and they were talking about the gospel. And in that moment, I felt a change. I felt like I really, 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 really believed it this time. It wasn't just yeah, okay. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I just remember thinking, I started shaking, I was crying, and I was like, this is it. I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian. I really got very nervous to step foot into this world, but overnight it felt like I just wanted to learn more and more and more. And I really wanted to find a good church, and I wanted to find good Christian people in my life, because I did not grow up in the church whatsoever. I would say 99% of my family is agnostic or atheist, but I think I have one cousin who's a Christian, and that's pretty much it. And so God has flown and just massively turned my life upside down to the point where it's kind of almost hard to remember. I used to be that person. I used to be broken and confused and doing a lot of bad things that I shouldn't be doing. And I am just kind now, just a totally different person. I have this absolute calmness in my heart and in my soul. I feel like Jesus has taken the wheels in my heart and then turned me into this totally different person that I could not believe that I am today. So God is also working in my family as well, because I know one thing, that my mom is always kind of I don't really know if I believe in Jesus or not. I don't really know if I believe in all of that. But she just can't believe that the absolute change that has been in me, she can't believe it. So the only logical explanation is God. So my family has been asking me more questions and calling me and getting excited to okay, I feel like God's moving in my life now. So God moving in my life is like a domino effect into this family that's never really heard anything about God before. And so now these people get to hear the gospel a lot from me, and these people get to hear it as well. And I get a chance to bring more people into the kingdom, because I don't want to just go with my family. I want to bring my whole family with me. And my husband showed me, and is still showing me, constant love and what Jesus is, and constantly guiding us to Christ. And I'm just so thrilled by that. I definitely don't believe I really found the right church before. I kind of would go to a church for a while, but I just didn't feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. And when my husband deployed, I was struggling really, really bad. I was struggling why would you take him from me? My son was very, he's autistic, so he was getting kind of more violent. He was getting more difficult. I was struggling really bad, another hardship that I'm supposed to overcome, but now I have to do it by myself. And we had a little baby. All of it was really scary for me. And I was that's it. I have to go to church. I have to be with God. I have to be with other people that kind of understand where I'm coming from. So my friend Adrienne, who goes here, she told me, hey, I'd like for you to go to church with me. So I brought my 3 kids with me, and immediately got this warmth when I got in here. Just this non-judgmental, just loving people that generally just wanted me to be there. And they had a sensory room, and they were very disabled friendly. I said, FBK is just the perfect church for me right now. That was the time I needed people. I needed Jesus more than anything. And it was just the perfect time for me to really be here. And I felt all right, this is a really great place. My sons, they seemed to like it a lot. Stephanie had reached out to me and said, how can we help you? Can we go to dinner? I'd like to know more about Sebi. I'd like to know more about you. And it was just this relationship that I never really got from the church before, that I really so desperately wanted. And I told my husband about this church every single day. I swear, on the phone, I'm just I just can't wait for you to go here. I love it so much. I want to get more involved. I want to do more for this church. And everything about me is just continuing to grow. Jesus is changing my life constantly. And I just hope that I can show that to other people that don't understand, that don't know the gospel, that haven't heard it, or that haven't heard it in a loving way. And I'm hoping to help people with my story, and that my story is not for nothing. I believe that I can truly help people of domestic abuse. I can help people that are addicted to drugs or alcohol, and I want to help people that have severe, PTSD, and that also have children with disabilities. These are all things that I feel like I can attribute, and I want to show people that Jesus is the way, and that Jesus has changed my life so much. Now I'm gonna cry. Sorry. But yeah. Jesus has changed my life a lot. And totally a new person.
It's okay. So how are you excited about getting baptized?
I am ready to get baptized. I have wanted to get baptized for a while now. I never really found the right church, the right people, the right pastor, and this just feels right. I'm ready to show the world that Jesus is my Savior. My name is Charlotte, and I'm going public.